Welcome once again to Commander by Danon. Today's video was brought to us by longtime Patreon supporter Muffins. Huge thanks to Muffins and the rest of my Patreon supporters. Muffins reached out asking for a deck built around Gimbal, Gremlin, Prodigy, and I was more than happy to oblige. But before we get started, I'd like to quickly ask you to like and subscribe. It really does help the channel and it's free. With that out of the way, let's get into the video. Gimbal, Gremlin, Prodigy is a 5-mana 4/4 legendary Gremlin Artificer who gives artifact creatures we control trample. Additionally, at the beginning of our end step, we create a 0/0 red Gremlin artifact creature token, and then put X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is the number of differently named artifact tokens we control. In other words, Gimbal cares about artifact tokens. Now, there are a ton of artifact tokens in Magic, but Muffins said he'd rather focus on about 10 or so, and have a couple of ways to get each of those tokens out. Also, we only need one of each token to help trigger Gimbal, so we can use all but one of our treasure tokens to cast our spells, or all but one of our clue tokens to draw cards. But to help build a functional commander deck, we'll want to rely on our handy-dandy checklist. 50 mana sources, usually split between 37 lands and 13 pieces of ramp, 10 pieces of card advantage, 8 to 10 pieces of spot removal, 2 to 3 board wipes, 2 pieces of graveyard hate, and 1 sudden I win card. As I'm sure you've heard by now, this channel is sponsored by Ultimate Guard. Ultimate Guard was made famous by their Boulder, which now come in these lovely two-tone boxes, allowing you to show your guild loyalty. Unless you're a filthy Dimir player who's simply disguising their deck, pretending to be the lawful and righteous Azorius. Find out if your local game store carries the new Ultimate Guard Synergy Boulders, or click on the link down below to order yourself one from Amazon. One more thing before we get started. I've been streaming Final Fantasy XIV over on my other channel, Musings by Danon. If you want to pop in and ask some questions, chat about Commander, or just hang out, you're more than welcome to. For right now, the schedule is Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays in the evening. Command Tower, Exotic Orchard, Misty Rainforest, Scalding Tarn, Wooded Foothills, Verdant Catacombs, Flooded Strand, Arid Mesa, Ketria Triome, Breeding Pool, Steam Vents, Stomping Ground, Rejuvenating Springs, Training Center, Spire Garden, Dreamroot Cascade, Stormcarved Coast, Rockfall Vale, Rimewood Falls, Volatile Fjord, Highland Forest, Tanglepool Bridge, Silverbluff Bridge, Slagwoods Bridge, Treasure Vault, Murex Inventors Fair, Hall of Tagsin, The Shire, 3 forests, 2 islands, and 2 mountains make up our land base for this deck. Tireless Provisioner, Old Gnawbone, Gilded Goose, Storm the Vault, Sphelia Ice Shaper, Skyclave Relic, Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Jaheira Friend of the Forest, Talisman of Curiosity, Talisman of Creativity, Talisman of Impulse, and everyone's favorite mana rock, Liquimetal Torque. Nothing to see here, it's just a mana rock. Professional Facebreaker, Big Score, Tireless Tracker, Tamio's Journal, Many Partings, Revive the Shire, Hedron Detonator, Thopter Spy Network, Ingenious Artillerist, Research Thief, and Farsight Ritual help us to dig through our deck and to keep our hands full. Oko Thief of Crowns, Spell Swindle, Spider Food, Chaos Warp, Negate, Abrade, Return to Nature, Counterspell, Heroic Intervention, Beast Within, and Access Denied help to keep our opponents in line. Perplexing Test, and Cyclonic Rift help us to reset the board as needed. Academy Manufactor, Lannis Cryptozoologist, Peregrine Took, Killer Service, Saheeli Sublime Artificer, Saheeli the Gifted, Retrofit Foundry, Masterful Replication, Brutaclad Telcor Engineer, Canoptech Scarab Swarm, Cyberdrive Awakener, Fairy Artisans, Mirrodin Besieged, Urza Lord High Artificer, Third Path Iconoclast, Reckless Fireweaver, Schema Thief, Sharding Sphinx, Mythos of Aluna, Rise and Shine, Sarenth Great Worm, Silversmith, and Urza's Command make up the core of our deck. Supporting our plan, we've got Mirrorworks, Parallel Lives, and Doubling Season. Now that we have our deck list, we should compare it to our checklist. 49 mana sources split between 36 lands and 13 pieces of ramp. A little light, but some of our card advantage also ramps us, so it's fine. 11 pieces of card advantage, 11 pieces of interaction, 2 board wipes, 2 pieces of graveyard hate in Return to Nature and Canoptic Scarab Swarm, 1 Sudden I Win card in Schema Thief. But Danon, Schema Thief only copies artifacts. You are correct. If only there were a way to turn any permanent we want into an artifact. Oh, and it's a token artifact, so that makes the tokens made by Gimbal even bigger. But in all honesty, Doubling Season is ridiculously overpowered in this deck. Doubling Season is already a very powerful Magic card. But remember, Gimbal Gremlin Prodigy makes token creatures, then puts +1/+1 counters on them. So Doubling Season not only gives us 2 tokens, it makes each of them twice as big. Now, we could have gone with a +1/+1 counter strategy, but I think a go-wide token build was the right choice. After all, we can just run them over with an army of servo tokens thanks to Saheeli. Do you have a Gimbal Gremlin Prodigy deck? What's your secret deck tech? Leave a comment below. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, a huge shout out to my editor Cutestuff. I couldn't make these videos without her. If you'd like to hire her to edit your own videos, she can be reached at cutestuff.edits@gmail.com. Link is down below. If you're looking for ways to support the channel directly, you can head on over to patreon.com/Danon. One of the tiers is specifically set up for Commander. For only $25, I will build you a custom Commander deck based around your specifications, and even do a deck video on it. I also wanted to give a quick shout out to all of my patrons: Waffles, Jiraiya, Danny, Muffins, Marcus, Squishy, Brett, Roxy, Josh, Sean, Pob Zombie, Mark, Alex, Daniel, Steve, Kevin, Alex, Cookie, Borgie, Jake, Exile Rogue, Manassas, Nazwin, Oolong, and Pedro. You guys are awesome. I post new Commander deck videos often, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified of new videos. Also, if you're a fan of anime and manga like I am, feel free to check out my other channel, Musings by Danon. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again next time on Commander by Danon.